let's go ahead and get the meeting started. I think we have roll call. We do have a quorum here. We have Mark, Bartlett, Susan, and me. So we have 4 of the 7. So we just have a quorum. Matthew won't be able to make it. And we're not sure about Angus. We're going to bump the agenda a little bit since we have a guest, Laura from MHP. We will move to that topic first. That is strategy 2.1, Durkee Farmhouse project. And Bartlett, do you want to say anything on that before we turn over to Laura?
Well, I don't have really anything to report on it. Nothing's changed as far as I know. I mean, I do want to say, Laura, if any of your engineers want to get into any of the buildings or walk the site, I'd be happy to get the key and show them the boundaries and stuff like that. But I'm around most of the time.
And I'm around when you're not.
And Mark is here too.
Marianne's around.
I'm around too. Yeah, so I think maybe then if Laura could just give us a quick update on next steps, then that'd be great.
Sure. Obviously, there was a delay at the beginning of the project start because of not having a designated signator for the agreement, and I couldn't hire the engineers until that agreement was signed. So that was all done the 13th of August. Same day I signed the contract with the engineers. I had hoped to get an update today, but I didn't get anything back from them. I am meeting with them tomorrow, which is a day late, of course. I expect that the surveyors have been out already. They're usually pretty quick to get out once the contract's signed. And the due diligence has started, which is mostly GIS and then the septic folks. Once the boundaries are done, the septic engineers will determine the capacity of the land. I will know tomorrow when I'll have the due diligence report and all that together. And once we have all that together, then we can put an RFP together that reflects what's on the ground. I do think I shared my pictures of the barn and the different options that may be available, and the engineers thought that it suggested that it be an option to use the barn as residential, but that it would be probably cost prohibitive to make it affordable housing, the whole thing affordable housing, including the barn. But we can look at that when we get the report and make, you can make a decision how you want to move forward, whether you want to make it a get bonus points, be a highly advantageous if they include the barn, and just advantageous if it isn't included, or how you want to deal with it. I think it's it's gonna be difficult to renovate it because of the interior is going to have to be gutted to get the floor changes and the structural posts to line up. Right now they're not. The basement is in one place, the first floor is in another, and anyway, we'll deal with that when it comes. So but be thinking about that, and of course all of that will be predicated on whether how many bedrooms we can get and whether it can then be financially feasible to do it. The more bedrooms that you can put on, the better chance for subsidy, the better chance for the project to be financially feasible.
At the minimum, can we require the barn to be preserved?
Yes,
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So then it's best, it would be advantageous to use it for affordable housing, but worst case, they
It's
they
still a
can't tear it
barn.
down. It's still a barn, yeah,
right, you don't really want to tear it down, but
right.
So I believe that Angus has a question.
someone has a question.
Thanks for that update. But I just wanted to ask, you did say the cost would have been too prohibitive. How much more are we talking about compared to what we're in the hook for already if we went the route that?
I don't have that number.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
I guess we'd find that out from the folks that respond to the RFP, right? They'd be the
Right.
ones that would tell us what the difference would be.
Yeah. I did find out today that there is possibly another funding source that may be able to help this project if a nonprofit were to respond. In that there are what are called 501c3, that's the nonprofit IRS code, 501c3 bonds, and that can be acquired through mass development, and they can offset some of the cost. So that's, but that would be obviously only nonprofits can get them, but there are nonprofits that develop, so that may close the gap that we, are looking at. So,
Thank you.
Yeah.
So rough timing, you said you'll talk to the engineers and they should get back to you with something, and you still have to take that and turn that into an RFP or draft RFP.
Right.
Would that be something you think you would have by our next meeting? We meet roughly monthly.
well, before next meeting, I'll have the due diligence report and the septic capacity. I can do
Okay,
some drafting, but it's,
Okay.
the trust decision and what goes in the RFP. So I
right.
may have blanks where you need to make decisions.
Okay, so that would be the next step then, for you to kind of share the due diligence, and then we make some decisions that go into the RFP.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that's the next steps. And depending on when you meet, I will be away the last week of October. So if you can make sure it's before that, or I'll be back November 1st. So, but if it's in October, it have to be before that.
okay,
Okay.
I think we can do that. All right, super. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Any other questions
Any
or
other
comments
questions?
for Laura?
Do we want to pick the next meeting date before we lose Laura so we can?
That would be great.
We can do that.
I was
Idea,
going
Mark?
to suggest the 21st. Laura's away on the 28th anyway, and there's special town meeting that day. And the 14th, there's going to be a charter committee open house, so I have to go to that at least. I don't know if others did. We'll make a day other than Tuesday. I can do different days, but
So you're proposing the 21st?
21st, I have MHP's 40th anniversary celebration.
Oh, wow. Happy anniversary. So I'm away for a good part of October, so I think that I might have to not be at the next meeting. Regardless, I won't be back until the 26th, which then runs into Laura's vacation. So if someone else can lead the meeting, Bartlett, the co-chair, if you'd be okay with that, then maybe the 20th or 22nd?
I could do the 22nd. I could not do the 20th.
22nd works for you? Yeah. Bartlett, 22nd?
You can make it work.
Can make it work? And most importantly, Laura, 22nd.
Yes, I can make that work.
Okay, Lauren?
Yeah.
Does that work? We can
Yes.
check with, Matthew. Thank you. Angus,
Yes.
22nd? Okay. I may be able to Zoom, but I think,
It
Yeah.
will be like 1 in the morning.
yeah, so I think probably not. So, but we'll plan on the 22nd at 6:30 PM. And that will be a Zoom meeting.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
thanks for
Thank you.
joining.
Okay,
Good
have a
night. Okay. Then we can go back to the sequence on the agenda we have here and move to Amy for any new small grant applications. So no new small grants. Any new LRAP or updates on LRAP?
No.
Okay. Then let's move to the,
Before, Lauren, do we know when we hear back on the small grant? Funding if we get the second round? Do we lose Lauren?
Sorry about that. Usually, grant announcements, are late October to early November.
Okay. So, there is one other reason I ask is Marianne and I are going Thursday to the, is it MAPC?
Magic, yeah,
Magic,
yeah.
Affordable Housing. They're starting an Affordable Housing Trust Forum. I think this will be the third meeting. They actually asked us and one other community.
Lexington, I think.
I think, to present about the small grant program, and we, Lexington quickly chimed in and said they'd rather do it at the next update, which next meeting will probably be in November, so. Lexington doesn't have the money yet, they wanted to wait until after the grant, so. We'll probably be working with you, Lauren, to come up with slides and information, and you, Amy, to help
Yeah.
support it, so that will be coming up. I don't know the date for sure, but I'm guessing it'll be in November.
Probably in November, yeah.
Mhm.
So I think it's a success story, right? That, happy to share it. So,
We have plenty.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah, excellent. So thanks for bringing that up, Mark. Anything else on the small grant program?
So Lucia went through and just updated the grant amounts, what has been allocated so far. And there's just over $11,000 remaining that could be allocated. So we had one of the 16 grants that was withdrawn. So that leaves, 7,500 for the 17. Number 17 plus odd amount for an additional one.
One of those few times when you like to see funds running out, right? It means that people are using it and putting the money to good
Right.
use. There's a lot of need out there. So thank you for that update.
Remember when we were worried about spending it within 2 years?
Yeah,
Yes.
We haven't made
Yeah.
it, we're like 6 months,
yeah.
7
Yeah.
months.
And we thought that we'd have to do active campaigning, and I know you and, the team have worked hard in doing that kind of informally, but it seems there's some word of mouth too, and yeah,
Yes,
it's working.
it's actually picked up this past month, but again, getting a lot of calls. It's like people are finally seeing it in the broadcaster. So I've been
Excellent.
earmarking a lot of people for if we get approved in November.
That's great. Yeah. Yeah, because really we have one remaining grant, right? One and a half.
One and a
Yeah.
half.
Good. Okay, then the next topic we had is the policy language for eligibility for LRAP. And I know that, that's something that, Susan and Angus and Amy worked on together. Matthew had initiated this, a while back. He's not here tonight. Do we want to cover this topic without him? We do have a quorum if we need to vote. What does everyone think?
I would rather wait till we have a full board before we decide on a new policy.
Okay,
But
okay. A full board meaning 7.
I think
Yeah.
that would be ideal, but at least the sitting members should all be here. The 7th, it might be like trial by fire, but welcome to the board. What do you think?
Yeah.
You're the deciding vote. Go.
Okay. Amy, what do you think?
That's fine by me.
Okay,
Can we reshare the draft and get any comments back to you guys before we actually? Yeah, cause I don't remember what the draft is or where it is in my email, so.
The initial like guidelines?
Whatever it sounds like you guys updated it or we're considering updating it
I
or
have a proposal.
a proposal.
Yeah, so we had like some notes that we were gonna bring and present as like the data that we had taken from the current members and previous members. That helped with bringing the numbers to the plate that were in an email thread. I don't know if did Angus share that with everyone?
No.
Okay, all right,
So,
so yeah, we can do that where we can put that all down and share it with the group.
So we can review it before the
So
next.
we did meet. I have a report in PowerPoint, and so I think it's a good idea to wait till the full board is sitting and the presentation will be made.
Okay,
Okay,
all right, so we'll wait till the next meeting when Matthew's here.
well, probably the November meeting. if
Probably
you're not here.
because I won't be here in October, yeah. Okay, all right, sorry Amy for bringing you out here and yeah, thank you for making time for the meeting and we'll be sure to be clear when it will be on the agenda for you.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Next item on the agenda, strategy 4.4 Tahadawan Road. For any updates there?
So I know there's been a little bit of back and forth between one of the abutters and Habitat on exactly where the house is. I think they moved it slightly and everyone was happier. As far as I know, they have not been to Conscom for approval yet. That was supposed to be a little while ago and Habitat asked for it to be continued. I don't know if it's on an upcoming agenda now that everyone's agreed. I haven't seen an upcoming agenda for Conscom. It has to go to Conscom. Once they approve it, they have to go to the ZBA for a variance because of the nature of the duplex. Correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, Maureen.
Yep, that's correct. The last I heard was for the zoning board of appeals, they were shooting for the October meeting, which would be probably the third Thursday in October.
Okay. And in terms of the timing, I know that Habitat is pushing to get through this in the fall, right? Because they'd like to pour the foundation before winter, before the ground freezes. Is that right?
They wanted to have the foundation in before the ground freezes. So.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Mark. We covered Durkee. I don't think there's anything more to talk about there. Next item 3.2 is 550 King Street. So, Martin, I think you were at our last meeting and we talked about the timing of the affordable units at King Street. And we went through a little bit of what was required and we thought that maybe we would revisit when you were at the meeting, so maybe you could share a little bit more about that and if there's any role for the Affordable Housing Trust to play in, expressing our desire for those to happen sooner rather than later.
As a policy matter, the trust could always weigh in with the developer and ask for as many units, affordable units as soon as practical. I think that certainly doesn't hurt to send that message. That said, the Littleton's inclusionary housing zoning bylaw looks at the total number of affordable units when a project is completed and requires that to be a minimum of 10% in this in developments like this one. And actually, by the time you get to 90% of the units, 100% of the affordable units have to be in place. So it starts at the beginning of a project, it's harder to get financing. So the bylaw allows some leeway in the percentage of affordable units for the first 30% of the development. And then it ramps up from there. So that just reiterating, by the time you get to 90% of the total units, all of the affordables have to be in place. So the middle sections of the development, you will get a larger number of affordable units.
I know the planning board was asking for a schedule, right? Of just, simply looking at for each phase, how many affordable units would be included. Is that something do we know if they've received that? Has that been provided?
Yeah, that's not been provided it has not been provided yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe we can keep in touch with planning board so that when that does come out, we can get a copy of that and just see the timing of that. And if we're happy with that schedule, then there's no need for us to advocate or voice an opinion.
I mean, the issue was that at the planning board, the Lupoli companies presented a plan with, I think, 6 units, was that right? In the first 2 buildings, the 300?
I believe they're looking at 9.
9, okay.
First 300.
9, and we were, the planning board, some members of the planning board were saying that when you cross the 30% mark, you owe us 10% of the total units. So like when we get to 300 units, we should have 30 affordable units. So the language doesn't really eliminate either of those possibilities. So I think if we could read the text and come up with an interpretation and send that to the planning board, if we have a thought about it, that would make some sense. Because there's just a discrepancy in the numbers between 9 and 30. And the planning board said, yeah, there's some flexibility there because, the first building is it's going to be harder for the developer to put more affordable units in that because he needs to get some money coming in.
Right.
So it's a negotiation, but I think if we have an opinion as this board, then we could put it in writing and send it to the planning board.
Okay.
Yep. I would caution that on zoning interpretation, the only opinion that legally matters is the building commissioner. So he would, once we get the proposal for when affordable units would come online, the planning department will send that to the building commissioner for his interpretation.
Okay.
Yeah. And the discussion is always a good idea, but legally, that's the legal framework we have to work with.
So Lauren, do you know what his interpretation is right now? Does he
No,
feel that?
we don't have any numbers to look at yet.
Okay. So the 9 that was originally proposed, that's one interpretation of the zoning, right? That says that it's only 10% of the incremental over 30%. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's my reading of it. That's one of the engineers' reading of it, but we can have opinions, but it would all be up to, once something's in writing, then that can go to building commissioner for interpretation. But
Okay.
we don't yet have a site plan, for phase 1 for the first 300. We've just had some informal discussions with the developer.
So what's your recommendation of timing for us to express an opinion here? Do we wait until that happens? Wait until we have a site plan and that proposal to planning board, or do we get in front of that?
either way, if you're looking to partner with, looking at the potential to partner with the developer to push a few of the units forward, you could raise that notion now. I haven't heard that from the trust, so I don't know if that's what you're looking to do, but that would be one way to approach it.
Mhm.
As far as when to provide an opinion, I can see benefits of doing it now or benefits of waiting till we have something in writing. It's
Okay,
kind of difficult to.
because the other topic that has come up is, are there other affordable housing units that could be developed outside of 550, but that would count towards the affordable units for the overall project?
Mhm.
You know, I think when we had talked about 13 Shattuck, you know, that was one opportunity that was out there. You know, if that was something that Lapoli would develop, could those count towards his affordable housing for 550 King Street?
Mhm. Yeah, and to me, unless and until the developer comes forward with a proposal, it's difficult for us to start the conversation.
Okay. All right, what does everyone think then? For next steps?
I think we watch the developer and see what they're doing and
Okay,
Yeah, I think they have to,
okay,
wait more.
sounds good. All right. Thank you for that, Maren. That's helpful.
Yep, thank you.
So next on board business, the first item we have is discussing exploring our next affordable housing trust development. So we have a few paths that we're taking right now, but Mark and I had met with Maren and Cooper talking about some other potential opportunities. And one step towards moving in that direction, kind of giving us a vehicle if a property does come up for us to be able to buy it, was a revolving RFP for land purchase. So Kim Cuomo in procurement sent Mark and me several examples of RFPs. None were revolving, but they had a lot of the language that we would like. So the one Mark and I met last week, the one that we liked was from Westport with some aspects of the Nantucket proposal, the RFP that looked interesting. So I took a first pass at marking that up after Mark and I met. He's going to look at the matrix for identifying what's less advantageous, highly advantageous, like to kind of, you know, take the best practices from others and make one for us. I have notes here of how we wanted to mark it up, the one that we have. I'm happy to circulate that before I go to Kim, or it's still pretty rough. It might make sense for me to give this back to Kim, have her come up with a rough proposal, and then send it around to the group. What does everyone think? I can throw out, you know, we can talk about some of the changes that we were proposing, or just a comparison. The one that we looked at was a minimum of 30 new affordable housing units. What Mark and I talked about was having a minimum of 20 units, 40 bedrooms, but then use the matrix to make it more favorable if it were 80 to 100. So just give a little bit more latitude there, so we could potentially look at smaller parcels, you know, if it would only fit some. More advantageous for larger because, you know, Laura shared with us the sweet spot is a little bit above that. That was one. The acreage required, we want language in there basically just to say that the acreage has to be enough to accommodate the sewage treatment. If they're not on town sewer, then it has to accommodate, you know, sewage treatment, and that would really be the minimum acreage requirement. We're not looking for, you know, expansive acres and, you know, other trails or things like that. It's really just what would accommodate the housing. So those are just some of the examples, but
Does that exclude, any trade-off benefits for cluster units and, you know, concentrated developments in open space? Because that's something that's happened a lot with developments.
so I'm assuming this is gonna be more apartment style units rather
Okay,
than.
but still on a parcel, there could be open space that they trade that off for
Yeah.
some benefit.
Maybe that's something that we could put in the more advantageous, if there were
Yeah.
open space.
Okay,
Not bad. Any other comments, or, I think as I'm looking at it now, it is pretty rough. I would make the suggestion that, and then we would send it around for input before the next meeting.
I think that makes sense.
Okay, I'll go ahead and do that, and it's here if anyone wants to see it tonight. Okay, and then our next item is 82 Russell Street.
So 82 Russell Street is a parcel that's controlled by Park and Rec, and it has because it's part of Park and Rec, it has a deed restriction on it. Basically that it has to be used. It's similar restriction as you would have on land controlled by conservation, except this is park land, so it's effectively like the Chapter 97 restrictions. So we're working with town council to figure out exactly what those restrictions mean. 82 Russell Street was considered by Park and Rec, for those that don't know, when we were rebuilding the tennis courts. It was one of the sites that was considered, but access to the site was making it cost prohibitive. So one idea is if a driveway for 40 affordable units makes it is a much better way of spending your money than a driveway for tennis courts. So if we were to fund the access to the property, could that help offset some of the restrictions from the conservation, Park and Rec type thing? So we're trying to work through those with town council. I've mentioned this idea to some of the Park and Rec commissioners. They were receptive to it, because they would like to see something done on that property too, whether it's fields or a dog park or something like that. So, and it's just cost prohibitive for them to do a development. So we're trying to work through what we could do, if there is anything we can do with Park and Rec on that property. So. I have not been to a Park and Rec Commission meeting to talk about it because I need to know more from the legal perspective before socializing it even greater.
Do you know how wet it is?
I do not.
Okay.
It's right off of Delaney. I don't think that portion is overly wet, but I'm not positive.
So there's a little house that's even closer to 495 than the spot on my map. So this is before that going into the.
It's really steep to go down.
Is that steep driveway?
Yeah, just,
How many acres is it?
I believe the parcel's 6-ish acres. So if we were to use 1 or 2 and allow them to get access to the other 4, that's a pretty good deal for them.
Right.
And you sent a message off to.
I sent a message to town council earlier. I have not heard anything back yet.
Great. Thank you. And those right now are the only, those are the 2 that we're actively pursuing. The other property that we looked at and we sent a letter to the owner, that is 13 Shattuck.
Yeah.
We've since found out that that was bought, and Martin, I think you had indicated, and we confirmed that it was sold in August to, I believe it's Tom Rocker for $300K. I think that was the public record. So I don't know if anyone knows what his intention is. Martin, did you say that they were looking at, or he was exploring a single family home?
That's what I heard, but that's a grapevine
Okay.
comment.
So we never heard back from Abigail, probably because she sold it and she's not there's nothing to say. Based on what you've heard, Mara, do you think it's worthwhile to reach out to Tom Rocker to see if there's any interest in potentially developing his affordable housing?
I know that Tom has been active in town for quite some time. I don't think it would hurt to ask just if we want to confirm what he's looking to do.
Okay. All right, does anyone have his contact info?
I don't-
Mm, I will forward what I can find.
Thanks, Lauren.
We want to basically send him the same letter.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, maybe, slightly different intro since he just purchased it, but yeah. I can update that. Yeah, makes it easy. Okay, I'll take that once,
Okay.
once Maren gives us what she can find for contact info. Any other ideas, thoughts on potential property that we could look to acquire for affordable housing?
I read somewhere, I can't remember exactly where, that the Baptist church might be for sale at some
That's right,
point.
yeah.
So, that would present some of the same issues as the Turkey Barn. You gotta figure out if you can fit floors in, and,
Mm-hmm.
I've been in it, but I don't remember really the layout of the side buildings.
Yeah,
So it's a thought.
okay,
I'm going to go meet with him tomorrow if you want to tag along. I'll send you the info.
What time?
6.
6 at night?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we can do that.
great, thank you.
Meet there.
Okay, next we have our trustee and town planner updates. So maybe we can go around the room here, starting with you, Susan. Any updates?
No updates.
Okay, thank you. Bartlett,
No, not really, no updates.
you want to ask about the email exchange we had? About the fund that you could apply for?
Oh,
501(c)(3).
Yeah, the First Church Unitarian, across from the fire station, is, they have a program, pass the plate once a month that goes to some kind of local charity, and, I wrote them a note saying all the wonderful things that we as the board have accomplished and are accomplishing, and the answer I got back today was, that they only deal with 501(c)(3) organizations, and the next question is there some way that the town can represent that there is a 501(c)(3) in the woodwork somewhere? So, I don't know. I mean, the town is nonprofit, but I don't think it's organized as, as that, so. I just don't know if there's a way to make that work. So, that's where I stand with that.
I'm not familiar with how that would work. Does anyone else have any idea of if it could work?
My I have only a very little understanding of it. If there were to be a Friends of the Affordable Housing Trust, for example, that was set up as a nonprofit, it would have to be separated from the town to a certain extent, and what that extent is, that's the part I don't know.
Sort of parallel to the Friends of the Library, Friends of the COA.
That's my understanding, but that's as deep as
No.
my understanding goes.
Okay.
So all the donations to the town are tax deductible, but there is no equivalent of 501(c)(3). We've been through this with different things like for most things, it doesn't really matter.
Mhm.
Where it matters is when we're donating to different things, like you can't donate directly to the town and get any like charitable matches from things was where we were in. But you can deduct anything
Yeah.
you donated off of your taxes,
Mhm.
but no organization will match it because it doesn't count as a real charity in that way.
All right,
So
so
you could explain that to them if you wanted.
Friends.
You could do that.
The amount of work for that would.
I was thinking, depends on how large that donation would be to
Right.
justify
It
the
won't
formation of
it
a
won't be
Friends.
worthwhile
Okay,
for that.
So we'll keep that in the back of our mind if it comes
Right.
up, if there are others who might be willing to donate to a 501c3 and.
And when we get donations from other churches, can't we tell them that like, isn't that how some of the money that we have that's not from CPC came was from church?
Yeah, if the FCU made a donation, it was $400, I think, years and years ago.
So we can't say, but you did it before?
They probably have a, bean counter on the board somewhere, and
All right,
I hope I didn't say wrong.
all right, thanks, Bartlett. Mark, any updates?
Just that you and I are attending the magic meeting on, Thursday, and we'll report back, what we hear.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Angus, any updates?
No, none from me.
Okay, thank you. None from me either. So over to Maren, town planner, any updates from your side?
Yes, one update that involves Habitat but does not involve the town is that Habitat was gifted a parcel on Dean Lane. That's the Cooper Farm Estates, the over 55 portion of Cooper Farm Estates. And Habitat hopes to build a single 2-bedroom over 55 unit there after they're complete with the Tehadawon build.
Excellent. That's good news.
Mhm.
Very good.
That's great.
Next item is 3C, possible candidates for the 7th board seat.
Lauren was recruiting last I hear.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah, I will reach back out to the potential recruit and check her schedule.
that would be great. I think it was September, right? That's when she wanted you to circle back.
I
So-
believe that's correct. Thank you.
Okay. And based on the resume that you shared with us, I think the rest of us were hesitant to put someone forward, based on the wealth of experience she has and the value she could bring to us.
Mhm.
So that would be great to find out if, there's anything we can do to get her interested in joining the trust.
Yep,
Okay.
good, I'll ask.
And that's a town administrator appointment, I think, too, right? So,
I think so. Yeah, that was, Anna's appointment, right? Okay. All right, next item, minutes from August 18th. Did everyone get a chance to review Lucia's minutes? I thought they were really good, very thorough. Mara, do you know, did she use AI or any of the bots to produce these minutes, or did she do it manually?
I believe she does it manually. She's
Okay,
got a lot of experience in doing minutes.
they're excellent, very thorough. I didn't have anything to add or change. Does anyone have any comments?
No.
Edits? Do we have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Susan, thank you.
Second,
Second from Bartlett. Okay, we'll go around. Mark,
yes.
Bartlett,
yes,
Yes.
Susan, Angus,
Yes.
and Mary Ann's a yes. So the minutes from August 18th, 2025 are approved. Last item on the agenda, scheduling for October. We already did. Our next meeting is Wednesday, October 22nd at 6:30 p.m. and that will be a Zoom call. Laura will be joining to give an update on the due diligence, and I will most likely not be at that meeting, so we'll plan for the policy discussion around LRAP for November, if that works for everyone. And my assumption there is there's not urgency because the renewal is really not going to come up until June, so it's okay if we delay this a bit. Good about that?
Yeah, and Lauren, if this other candidate falls through, can you let us know and then we can start working the network?
Absolutely.
Good suggestion. Thank you, but we hope she doesn't. All right.
Twist her arm.
Tell her we had Kate.
Yeah. Very enticing. Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
And by Angus.
All right. Meeting is adjourned. Yes, Bartlett, yes.
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 Yes, Marianne, yes. Okay. Thank you, everyone.